until she popped up somewhere new. It was very dark, except for one light that was pointing straight at her.
Oop, Gurk, I'm in the spotlight!
Exclaimed Olive. She was on stage in a huge theatre. She was wearing a frilly collar and very, very pointy shoes. She could hear someone crying and headed off to investigate. Backstage was dark. She couldn't see anyone anywhere. She noticed the sobbing was coming from under a large fairy cushion in the corner. Olive tried to lift up the cushion, but the cushion moved and cried, "Ouch!" The cushion stood up, and Olive saw that it had arms and legs. It wasn't a cushion at all. It was actually a big brown bear.
Oh, sorry,
said Olive.
Don't worry. Happens all the time. I'm Sir Derek Jackabear.
I'm Olive. Pleased to meet you. But why are you crying?
It's the opening night of the play. The actress I'm performing with hasn't arrived. I'm scared I'll forget my lines.
Oh, dear. Well, I could be the actress, but I don't know the lines either.
This is a disaster. What are we going to do, lovey?
Olive saw that there was a big book sitting on a table next to a bottle of glue.
Is that the play we're performing in?
That's the one. 11th Night by William Shakespeare.
And what do you use the glue for?
I use it to stick this false beard on for the play.
A script. Some glue? I think I may have an idea.
With Sir Derek's help, Olive tore out all the pages from the script and stuck them everywhere. On the curtains, on the props, even on the stage itself.
Oh, I see. Now we don't have to remember our lines. We can just read them. Bravo, lovey.
As Derek stuck on his false beard, Olive put on the final piece of hair costume, a huge feathery hat. Derek gave her one last piece of advice.
Break a leg, lovey.
Olive looked confused.
It's what we say in the theatre. It means good luck.
And with that, the curtain went up and the play began. Olive and Derek moved around the stage, reading the lines and acting out the play. Everything was going brilliantly until one of the big feathers on Olive's hat fell in front of her eyes. She couldn't see where she was going. One of her long shoes caught on a page that she had glued to the stage. Olive fell off the stage and into the audience. But the audience caught Olive and lifted her up high above their heads. She crowd surfed all the way around the theatre before eventually landing back on the stage. And with that, the play was over. The audience went wild, clapping and cheering.
This play is a huge success,
boomed Sir Derek.
I have my beautiful leading lady to thank for that.
He leaned over and gave Olive a kiss on her beak.
Mwah.
Oh, I say. I didn't break a leg, but I've got a few bruises from falling off the stage.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new.
Ooh.
Olive was standing in a huge room with large pictures on the walls and big, oddly shaped objects all over the place.
Oh, what a colourful place.
Suddenly, Olive heard a voice.
Where did I put them?
One of the objects began to move. It was a seagull. It wore a beret and was waving around a paintbrush. Olive jumped.
I didn't notice you back there. I'm Olive.
Greetings. I'm Vincent van Gogh, famous artist and sculptor. This is my gallery, and these are my paintings and sculptures. You like them, yes?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Exclaimed Olive.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very talented, it's true. But I just need to paint one more painting on this blank canvas for my big exhibition. Problem is, I can't find my tubes of paint. God!
Then Olive noticed something shining on one of the sculptures.
A telescope? I think I may have an idea.
Olive looked through the telescope for clues, and on the floor she spotted some drips of paint. She followed the trail of paint over to a sculpture of a man having a good old think.
Here's one.
Said Olive, throwing it down to Vincent.
My green paint!
Here's another.
My yellow paint!
Olive continued to follow the trail, finding Vincent's tubes of paint in all sorts of interesting places. She found Vincent's blue paint, his orange paint, and his purple paint. Vincent was very pleased.
Oh, yes, I must have left my paints in my great works of art as I was creating them. Well spotted, Olive. You have the eye of a great artist.
Thanks very much.
But where is my lucky color? Red.
Hey, I think I see it.
Olive had spotted it at the very top of the tallest sculpture in the room.
How are we going to reach that?
Don't worry, Vincent. I'll get it.
Olive jumped up on the sculpture and started to climb. She reached out and just managed to knock the paint down to Vincent.
Oh, well done, Olive.
He exclaimed.
Now I have all my paints.
As Olive cheered, she lost her balance.
Look out!
Olive landed on top of Vincent, who dropped his tubes of paint, which squirted all over Olive as they hit the ground. Cried Olive as she stumbled backwards, covered in paint, and fell onto the blank canvas.
Oh, no. Are you all right, Olive?
I'm okay, but I think I've ruined your canvas.
But when Olive pulled herself away from the canvas, on it was an amazing multicoloured painting of Olive.
It's spectacular!
Exclaimed Vincent.
It's a masterpiece, the best in my big exhibition.
Hey, I've always wanted to be in a painting.
Giggled Olive. They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new.
This is a spectacular place.
Olive saw a man with a huge curly moustache. He wore a red and black tunic with a crown on the front.
I'm Olive. Where am I, please?
I'm Beefy the Beefeater. You're on a tour of the Tower of London.
He answered.
I'm in London.
Olive found a camera hanging around her neck and snapped a few pictures.
And if you look to your right, you'll see the ravens. Tradition says they must never leave the tower, or the kingdom will fall. And not a single one has. Not on my watch, anyhow.
Hello. What's your name?
Olive asked.
Roberta,
And why do you look so sad, Roberta?
because I really want to explore London, like those tourists over there. I want to see all the sights, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, and especially Trafalgar Square.
But of course you can't leave the tower.
Said Olive.
No, and Beefy is always watching and counting us.
So you need to somehow get away without Beefy realising.
Olive looked around and saw an ice cream van nearby. She also saw a lady tourist wearing a long black raincoat.
An ice cream van. A black raincoat. I think I may have an idea. Please, can I borrow your raincoat?
Olive asked the lady, who nodded. Then she bought an ice cream cone from the ice cream van. Olive put on the black raincoat and stuck the cone onto her own beak, using the ice cream to make it stick. She looked just like a raven. Well, almost.
I'll pretend to be you, Roberta, while you go to see the sights of London.
Wow, great idea.
When Beefy was looking the other way, Roberta made a dash through the tower gates. Olive tried to blend in with the other ravens, but she was so tall she really stuck out. What was worse, the ice cream cone was melting, dripping into a growing puddle at her feet. Beefy walked over and began counting the ravens.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When he got to Olive, he stopped and raised an eyebrow. Said Olive. It was a pretty good impression of a raven. Beefy shrugged and continued to count.
5, 6 ravens. Excellent.
But now, Olive's ice cream had melted so much, the cone fell off her beak.
Hang on a raven counting minute. You're not a raven. You're an ostrich. I'd better count again.
Oh no, he's going to realise there's one raven missing.
Beefy began to count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5?
But just in the nick of time, Roberta came swooping in over the Tower of London's walls. She landed just behind Beefy. Said Roberta loudly. Beefy spun round.
Aha! There's number 6 all safe and sound. What was I thinking? It's not like these ravens ever leave the tower. Not on my watch, anyway.
Beefy walked off to get his dinner.
No, us ravens never leave the tower.
Chuckled Roberta. This made Olive and the other ravens laugh too. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive's feet were buried in soft yellow sand. It was very hot and sunny.
Greg, where am I?
Said Olive. She could see 3 huge triangular-shaped buildings in the distance. Olive was so busy looking at the pyramids, she didn't notice the huge hole in the ground and fell right in. Olive picked herself up. There was someone in the middle of the hole, digging deeper and deeper into the sand.
Hello? Hello?
Called Olive. The digging stopped, and a small mole popped his head up and squinted at Olive.
Hello, who's there? I cannot see you.
Complained the mole.
Hello, I'm Olive. Nice to meet you.
I'm Horace Molius, archaeologist extraordinaire. Welcome to Egypt.
Egypt? How exciting! But what's an archaeologist?
An archaeologist is a discoverer of old things hidden underground, but today I'm just trying to find my mummy.
Explained Horace.
Oh, I've heard about these ancient Egyptian mummies that have been buried in the sand for thousands of years. I'd love to see one for real. Oh, why are you throwing all of these treasures away?
Olive pointed at a pile of sand containing lots of sparkly gems and jewels.
Oh, what treasure?
Said Horace. Olive held up a crystal, and Horace had a really close look at it.
Oh, you're right.
Said Horace.
I can't see a thing. I've lost my glasses somewhere in the desert.
Olive looked around and had a think.
Shiny crystals. An old whip. I think I may have an idea. There you go, Horace.
Said Olive. She had tied the whip around Horace's head, looping 2 crystals on it to make a pair of glasses.
Oh, I can see. I can see.
Horace cried. He was jumping for joy. But Horace's jumping had loosened the ground. It started to crack beneath their feet. Olive and Horace fell through the ground and disappeared.
Are you okay, Horace?
Asked Olive as she dusted herself down.
Yes, I'm all right.
Exclaimed Olive as she looked around in wonder. The room was full of all sorts of ancient Egyptian treasures.
Oh, back home again. That's a shortcut I've never used before. And I was close to my mummy all along. Mummy!
Cried Horace as he rushed to give his mummy a really big hug.
Welcome home, dear.
Said Horace's mum.
Oh! So you meant you were looking for your actual mummy, Horace. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Molius. I have to say, you look much younger than the mummy I was expecting. I thought we were looking for one of these.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive found herself in a village street with lots of shops.
Oh, just the hat for a rainy day.
Olive spotted a postman sitting on a bench nearby. He looked rather sad.
Hello, Mr. Postman. I'm Olive. Are you okay?
Not really. The 3 parcels I was supposed to deliver today have fallen out through this hole in my post bag, and now they're lost.
If we retrace your steps, maybe we'll find them.
Yes, we could try.
Olive and the postman walked down the village street and saw a baby elephant in its pram, giggling and playing with something. It was a brown parcel.
Ah, that's one of my missing parcels.
Oh, the baby thinks the parcel is its new toy. Maybe it would like to swap the parcel for a tickly feather.
Olive plucked a feather from her wing and tickled the end of the baby's long nose. The baby started to laugh and Olive swapped the parcel for the feather.
He loves it. OK, where to next?
The mechanic's workshop.
Soon, Olive and the postman were standing outside the mechanic's workshop. A car was sitting high in the air on a lift. And on top of the car roof was another parcel.
Oh dear, the mechanic is on his lunch break. How are we going to reach that parcel?
Olive noticed a wheel hubcap lying on the floor.
I think a spot of frisbee throwing should do the trick.
Olive threw the hubcap towards the parcel. Whiz! Clunk! It knocked the parcel off the car roof, sending it toppling down into the postman's waiting arms.
Oh, good shot, Olive. One more parcel to find.
And I think I know exactly where it is.
In the centre of the village was a fountain, and bouncing around on top of the jet of water was the final parcel.
Oh dear, we're never going to catch it.
Olive spotted a tap nearby. She turned the tap off, and the water stopped gushing from the fountain, sending the parcel dropping down into the postman's arms.
Oh, but Olive, look. The rain has washed all the addresses off the parcels. How will we know who they belong to? They all look the same.
3 similar-looking parcels that all smell different. I think I may have an idea. We can work out where the parcels need to go by smelling them. That way we can guess what's inside.
Great idea, Olive.
Olive smelt the first parcel.
This one smells of flowers.
It must be for the flower shop.
Olive was right. It was a bunch of flowers. Olive smelt the second parcel.
Ah, this smells of oil.
It must be for the mechanic's shop.
Olive was right again. It was a new oil can. Olive smelt the last parcel.
Ooh, that smells of a sheep. Oh, it must be wool for the tailors.
The tailor was very pleased with the postman for delivering his parcel. And to say thank you, he sewed up the hole in the postbag to make sure the postman never lost any parcels again.
Thank you for all your help, Olive.
That's okay. I think I may have a nose for delivering the post.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Olive.
Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive was standing in a shady forest. There were tall trees everywhere. In front of her was a little teddy bear. She was sitting on a picnic rug and looking glum.
Hello there. I'm Olive.
Oh, hello. I'm Gloria Honeybear. I'm having a picnic, but I'm afraid I can't offer you anything to eat.
Oh dear. That's a shame. You do seem to have plenty of food, Gloria.
Yes, I've got jam, I've got tea, I've got milk, I've got scones, butter, cream, I've got the rug, I've got cutlery, I've got cups, I've got sugar cubes, I've even got napkins, but I don't have any honey. And you can't have a picnic with no honey, not if you're a teddy bear anyway.
I see. Well, where do you usually get your honey from?
Well, I usually get my honey from the busy bees.
Said Gloria as she pointed towards a large beehive.
But today the bees have no honey.
Oh dear.
Said Olive as she walked over to the beehive.
Excuse me, busy bees. You're not looking very busy.
The bees looked exhausted.
Phew, we're just so tired.
Buzz the bees.
Every time we get back from the flowers with pollen to make our honey, we have to do this long dance to show the other bees where to go. We're just too tired afterwards to make the honey.
So what you need is a way to show the other bees how to get to the flowers without doing the directions dance.
Oh, yes, please.
Olive spotted the bowl of sugar cubes.
Some tired bees, a bowl of sugar cubes. I think I may have an idea. Gloria, do you know the way to the nearest flowers?
Yes, of course.
Olive picked up the bowl of sugar cubes. She and Gloria headed off to the flowers, and as they walked, Olive and Gloria made arrows on the ground out of sugar cubes and did a silly little bee dance just for luck. They made arrow after arrow until they reached a huge flower bed full of beautiful flowers. They quickly hurried back to the hive.
Okay, busy bees. Just follow the sugar arrows to find your way to the flowers without doing the directions dance. And when you get back with the pollen, you can make the honey and give some to Gloria for her picnic.
Hooray! Thanks, Olive.
So the bees all buzzed off to the flowers using the sugary arrows to find their way. They collected loads and loads of pollen, flew back to the hive and got to work making honey. Gloria gave the bees her empty honey jar.
Would you busy bees mind filling this for me, please? No problem.
And they filled Gloria's jar full of sweet-tasting honey.
We hope it tastes good.
Now you can finally enjoy your lovely picnic.
Yes, I've got jam, I've got tea, I've got milk, I've got scones, I've got butter, I've got cream, I've got the rug cutlery, I've got cups, napkins, I've got a huge jar of yummy honey. But now I don't have any sugar cubes, and you can't have a picnic without sugar cubes to put in the tea.
You're in luck then. I have 2 cubes left, one for each of our cups of tea.
Olive threw the sugar cubes into their cups. She poured in the milk and tea, while Gloria spread butter and honey and cream and jam all over the scones. They had the tastiest picnic ever, and afterwards they did the silly bee dance once more. The bees were so happy they joined in too.
Oh, thank you, Olive. You've been the busiest bee of all.
Chuckled Gloria. They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive was wearing a bright yellow safety jacket and a hard hat and big black boots.
Dick, I should be nice and safe wearing this lot.
She was standing on a building site. There was a house being built, but it was only half finished. Lots of workmen were sitting around doing nothing. One read a newspaper, another was fast asleep.
Oh, look, there's some bird over there.
Said one.
Yes, I am a bird, thanks very much. I'm an ostrich.
Can I help at all?
Said a gruff voice. Olive turned to see a big man with lots of stubble on his face. With him was a little boy.
Oh, hello, I'm Olive. It doesn't seem very busy here.
I'm Butch the foreman. We're meant to be building this brand new home, but my son Eric here came to visit me today and he brought his pet puppy Gordon.
Yes, and Gordon slipped off his lead and ran off with his special plans to the house. They're called blueprints. Now he's lost somewhere on the building site.
Blueprints? They sound important.
They certainly are. Without those blueprints, none of my men can do any work.
Olive spotted a van selling sausage sandwiches next to the building site. The sausages smelled really good.
Some tasty smelling sausages. A lost puppy. I think I may have an idea. Butch, can I borrow that digger, please?
Go right ahead, but Eric and I will ride with you. Safety first around here.
Olive jumped into the digger with Butch and Eric.
Easy.
She drove it over to the van and asked the owner to put a whole pile of sausages into the bucket and tie strings of sausages to the back of the digger. Olive drove the digger full of sausages all over the building site.
Keep your eyes peeled for Gordon. When he smells all these sausages, he's sure to come out from his hiding place.
She drove past the cement mixer. Eric peered inside but couldn't see Gordon. Olive drove past the crane. Eric looked up inside the cab, but the puppy wasn't inside. Then she drove all around the half-finished house.
I don't see Gordon anywhere.
Olive turned to see there were lots of dogs chasing the digger.
Gurg, they must be after the sausages.
Maybe Gordon's with them. Let's stop and see.
Olive stopped the digger and they gave the sausages to the hungry dogs. But Gordon wasn't with them.
It's no good. I think Gordon's lost forever.
But then Olive heard something. The sound of someone snoring gently. It was coming from underneath the sausage van. Olive peered under the van, and there, fast asleep, was a little puppy.
Gordon, we found ya.
Gordon had a big fat tummy from eating lots of sausages, and he was also lying on something. It was the blueprints for the house.
Excellent. Now we can finish building this home for stray dogs.
All the dogs barked happily when they heard this.
Thanks for helping me find Gordon, Olive.
And thanks for helping me find the blueprints for the dog home. Would you like to stay for a sausage sandwich?
I think I've seen quite enough sausages for one day, thanks.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive was standing in the middle of a huge amusement park. People were having a great time everywhere.
Great, lots of fun things to do here.
Whoa! Suddenly something zoomed over Olive's head. She looked up to see people riding on a roller coaster. Olive thought it looked very scary.
Oh, wow. Wish I could have a go on that.
Olive looked down and saw a little hamster.
Hello, I'm Olive.
I'm Harry. I really want to ride the Mega Scream roller coaster.
The Mega Scream. I don't like the sound of that at all.
Problem is, I'm not allowed to go on it on my own. Would you like to ride the Mega Scream with me?
Olive took another look at the Mega Scream. As she did, the roller coaster cars did a loop-the-loop. Olive gulped. The Mega Scream looked really scary to her.
It does look like lots of fun, but it's very hot today. We could get sunburned so high up. Maybe we should save it for later when it's cooler.
Oh, okay then.
Olive could see how disappointed the little hamster was, and she wanted to cheer him up. Olive looked around at all the other rides.
An amusement park with lots of fun things to do. I think I may have an idea. Come on, Harry. We're going to have the most fun day ever.
Olive decided that she and Harry would try everything in the amusement park, apart from the Mega Scream, of course. They threw coconuts at the coconut shy. They had a go on the carousel.
Whoa, this is fun,
Said Olive as they went round and round. They slid down the helter-skelter. They even had a go on the dodgem cars. Soon, they had tried pretty much everything in the amusement park, apart from the Mega Scream roller coaster.
Can we go on the Mega Scream now?
I'm really hungry. Why don't we get some yummy ice creams?
Oh, ice cream, my favourite.
It was Olive's favourite too. They went and bought 2 huge cones. But Olive's ice cream was so big, she couldn't see where she was walking.
Olive, shall we try this one last ride over here?
Why not?
Said Olive, not seeing what the ride was. She and Harry took their seats, and suddenly a metal bar came down over them.
What ride is this?
It's the Mega Scream. Here we go.
Before Olive could say anything, the roller coaster accelerated away. Olive and Harry went zooming and loop-the-looping all over the park.
Isn't it amazing, Olive?
I thought I'd be scared, but now I'm on it. This is the best ride ever.
Finally, the ride came to the end. Olive and Harry looked down. Their ice creams had disappeared. They looked behind them to see 2 foxes covered in ice cream.
Oh, sorry. Our ice creams must have flown off the cones somewhere on the ride.
We rather enjoyed our surprise snack.
Said one of the foxes. Olive and Harry got off the Mega Scream.
Thanks for giving me such an amazing afternoon.
And thank you for helping me get over my fear of roller coasters.
Chuckled Olive. They both laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive found herself outside a trendy city coffee shop with a lively disco right next door. There were stylish and fashionable animals everywhere she looked.
Cake, what a cool street.
Said Olive, who was wearing a colourful apron with steaming frothy coffees printed all over it. She was admiring the 2 huge model coffee beans on either side of the shop entrance when suddenly an anteater burst through the doors and out onto the street.
Mama Mocha, I don't believe it.
I'm Olive. Is everything okay?
No, it's not okay. I am Signora Don Mochaccino, the best coffee connoisseur in all of London town. My guests will be here any moment for my coffee shop's grand relaunch, and everything is going wrong.
What's the problem, Signore Don?
Not again.
But Cake, who are they?
They are a group of naughty espresso mucho jumbo coffee beans. Olive, I need help to catch those crazy coffee beans before they destroy my new shop.
Olive and Don rushed into the shop to try and catch the jumping beans.
Down here.
But they didn't have much luck. The beans were always one jump ahead, knocking over racks of coffee jars, rows of cups, bags of sugar, everything.
Phew! These beans are seriously jumping!
With all the commotion, Olive tripped and tumbled into Don, sending both of them somersaulting out of the front door and crashing into the two huge model coffee beans.
Get me out of here!
Oh, how are we ever going to catch these coffee beans?
Olive noticed that the beans were copying Don as he hopped around trying to free himself. Then she spotted the dancers leaping around to the music in the next door disco.
Jumping coffee beans? A disco? I think I may have an idea.
Olive popped the remaining big model coffee bean over her and started to jump around with Don.
Keep jumping down and follow me into the disco!
Okay, Olive.
Don followed Olive, jumping along into the disco, and the coffee beans followed them too, in a coffee conga line. Soon all the coffee beans were jumping around happily and safely inside the disco. Finally, back in the coffee shop, the chaos was over.
Perfecto. I will make you a cup of a very special coffee to say thank you for getting rid of those mucho jumpo coffee beans.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if I really like coffee.
But you have not tasted my coffee. Un momento.
Don expertly operated the various grinding, steaming, squirting and mixing devices on his coffee machine to create the perfect cup of coffee for Olive to drink.
I am calling this new coffee my Olive Cappuccino. It will be the latest coffee sensation.
Actually, this Olive Cappuccino does taste perfecto.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realized it was time to go.